Ever wish your pet could eat on time, even when you're away? Here are the top 9 Amazon pet feeders, with updated links in the description. At number 9, we have this automatic pet feeder designed especially for medium and large dogs that tend to go through food pretty quickly. One thing that immediately stands out is the large 12-liter capacity, which means you can leave enough kibble for several days without constantly refilling it. That's a huge plus if you work long hours, travel often, or just want a little more peace of mind during busy weeks. It also supports scheduled feeding so your dog gets meals at consistent times every day, which can really help with routine and portion control. The built-in camera adds another layer of convenience because you can quickly check in and make sure your pet is eating normally even when you're away from home. It's definitely more suited for dry food and larger spaces, but for dog owners looking for reliability and convenience, this one earns its place on the list thanks to its big capacity and practical smart features. Coming in at number 8, this automatic feeder from Jymars is a really practical option for homes with 2 pets. Instead of having one animal eat everything first while the other waits around, the dual bowl setup helps distribute food more evenly, which makes feeding time a lot less chaotic. It's especially useful for cat owners or small dogs that share the same schedule. The programmable timer lets you set meals throughout the day, so even if you're stuck at work or out running errands, your pets still stay on a consistent routine. Another thing people tend to appreciate is the simple control panel. You don't need an app or complicated setup just to make it work. The transparent food container also makes it easy to see when it's time for a refill before you unexpectedly run out. It may not have smart camera features like some premium models, but for multi-pet households that want something dependable and straightforward, this one delivers great everyday convenience without overcomplicating things. If you're enjoying the video, subscribe. We post similar content every day. For number 7, we have a smart feeder from PetKit that feels a little more premium compared to basic automatic models. One of the biggest advantages here is the dual hopper design, which is great if your pet eats different types of food or needs a more customized diet. For example, some owners use one side for regular kibble and the other for prescription food or freeze-dried toppers. The app control is another feature that makes daily feeding feel effortless because you can adjust schedules, portions, and feeding times directly from your phone without standing next to the machine. It also includes freshness protection to help keep food from getting stale, which matters more than people think, especially for picky cats. The built-in camera gives you a quick way to check on your pet while you're out, and that extra peace of mind can be surprisingly useful during long work days or short trips away from home. It's definitely priced higher than simpler feeders, but the flexibility and smart features make it a strong option for pet owners who want more control over feeding routines. At number 6, this PetLibro automatic feeder is a great pick for pet owners who want something modern and easy to manage without taking up too much space. The design looks sleek enough to blend into almost any room, but what really makes it useful is the smart app control. You can create feeding schedules, adjust portions, or even trigger extra meals remotely right from your phone, which comes in handy if your day suddenly changes or you end up getting home late. It's especially helpful for cats or small dogs that do better with smaller meals spread throughout the day instead of one large serving. Another nice touch is the anti-clogging system that helps food dispense more consistently, so you're not constantly worrying whether meals actually went through while you were away. The storage size is better suited for smaller households rather than very large dogs, but for people looking for a reliable smart feeder with a cleaner, more compact design, this one feels surprisingly polished for the price. Remember that all the links are in the description. You can compare prices and read customer reviews. Halfway through the list, this Gravity Pet Feeder and Water Dispenser combo is one of the simplest options here, but honestly, that's exactly why some people love it. There are no apps, timers, batteries, or complicated settings to deal with. You just fill it up, and Gravity automatically keeps food and water available throughout the day. That makes it especially convenient for busy owners who want something affordable and low maintenance for cats or small dogs. The stainless steel bowls are a nice touch too because they're easier to clean and generally more hygienic than cheap plastic trays. It's also compact enough to fit comfortably into smaller apartments, kitchens, or laundry rooms without taking over the space. Of course, since it's not programmable, it won't help much with strict portion control or pets that tend to overeat. But for people looking for a basic everyday setup that keeps pets fed and hydrated with minimal effort, this one gets the job done surprisingly well without costing much at all. At number 4, this automatic feeder from Voluous is one of those options that focuses on doing the basics really well without making things complicated. It's designed for pet owners who mainly want reliable, scheduled feeding and consistent portions without needing Wi-Fi or constant app notifications. The control panel is simple to understand, so setting meal times feels quick instead of frustrating, especially for people who aren't interested in smart home features. One thing that stands out is the voice recording feature, which lets you record a short message to call your pet during feeding time. It sounds small, but for some cats and dogs, hearing a familiar voice can actually make them more comfortable when eating alone. The sealed food storage also helps keep kibble fresher for longer, which matters if you buy larger bags of food. It may not have cameras or advanced tracking tools, but for everyday use, this feeder offers a really solid balance between convenience, reliability, and affordability, which is why it comfortably lands in this spot on the list. Number 3 goes to this feeder from Oneisol, and it's a really solid choice for homes with multiple cats or small dogs that eat at the same time. The split bowl design helps keep feeding more balanced, so one pet doesn't end up stealing everything before the other even gets close to the bowl. What also makes this model stand out is the larger food storage container, which is useful if you don't want to refill it every couple of days. It supports scheduled meals throughout the day, making it easier to maintain a healthier routine for pets that tend to beg for food constantly. The control dial and display are straightforward too, which honestly feels refreshing compared to feeders overloaded with unnecessary menus and complicated setup steps. Another nice detail is the elevated design that keeps the bowls slightly off the floor, helping feeding areas stay cleaner overall. It doesn't come with advanced camera functions or app controls, but for people who mainly want dependable automatic feeding for more than one pet, this model offers a really practical setup that works well day after day. In second place, we have this upgraded PetLibro Smart Feeder, and this one feels built for pet owners who hate being completely disconnected from their pets while away from home. The biggest highlight here is definitely the built-in camera, because it lets you check in live, see if your pet is eating normally, and even interact through two-way audio. That's especially reassuring for people who travel often or spend long hours at work. Beyond the camera features, the app gives you full control over schedules and portion sizes, making feeding routines feel much more consistent and easier to manage remotely. The anti-blockage system also helps avoid one of the most frustrating problems with automatic feeders, where food gets stuck and meals never dispensed properly. Another thing that stands out is how quiet the operation is compared to many cheaper models, which matters if you have nervous cats that get startled easily. It's definitely more of a premium option, but the combination of smart controls, reliability, and real-time monitoring makes this one feel far more useful than a basic automatic feeder. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, we have this Voluous automatic feeder, mainly because it manages to deliver the best overall balance between price, reliability, simplicity, and everyday usefulness. A lot of automatic feeders either become overly complicated with features most people never use, or they feel too basic to truly make life easier. This one lands right in the sweet spot. You can schedule multiple meals throughout the day, control portion sizes, and keep your pet on a much more consistent routine without constantly thinking about feeding times yourself. That's especially helpful for indoor cats or dogs that tend to overeat when food is always available. The setup is simple, the controls are easy to understand, and the compact design fits naturally into almost any space without looking bulky. It also includes battery backup support, which is one of those features you don't think about until the power goes out and you realize your pet still gets fed normally. It may not include premium camera functions or app controls, but for most pet owners, this is the kind of feeder that simply works every single day without adding stress, and that's exactly why it earns the top spot on this list.